Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next Black History program where Clayton County is celebrating the Black family. This year, the 2021 theme for Black History Month is the Black family representation, identity, diversity. In keeping with that theme, we have been providing events throughout the month of February that highlight the Black family. And today we are very pleased to bring to you Sunday Dinner for the Soul, a live cooking demonstration to learn how to prepare a dish for Sunday dinner tonight with your friends and family. We'll also be providing tips on how to discuss controversial issues with your students who attend Clayton County Public Schools and just any students that we have come across us in your family, friends of family, and things of that nature. So today we'll be promoting healthy eating and also healthy conversation. With everything that our students have been exposed to this year, from police brutality, from the pandemic, from just the presidential election, everything has just been coming to a head. And we want to make sure that we support parents and the community with not avoiding these issues, but bringing awareness to these issues. And so during the presentation today, not only will you learn how to prepare a healthy meal, but we'll also be bringing you tips on how to discuss controversial issues with your students. Recently, Clayton County Public Schools was highlighted in Atlanta Journal-Constitution for its approach to dealing with controversial issues in the classroom. So we're going to share with you how we address controversial issues and how you can address controversial issues when your children come home and want to talk about these things with you or other community members. With that being said, we're going to begin our cooking demonstration. Clayton County Public Schools is so pleased to have with us today Miss Queenie Cook Richardson. Queenie Cook Richardson emphasizes a holistic, natural approach to living a life that causes no harm to our inner and outer world. She is an impassioned, multi-creative, certified life and wellness coach, yoga teacher, RYT 100 through 200, meditation coach, a folk herbalist, a Reiki master healer, a holistic doula, vegan and raw food chef, holistic medical practice CEO, and for over 20 years, she's lived a natural, holistic lifestyle and has prepared plant-rich vegan food for patients, family, and friends. Queenie is known for creating fun and engaging holistic natural living classes on subjects ranging from natural pregnancy and childbirth, raising a healthy family and children, soap making, wild plant walks, herbal medicine making, vegan raw food, and cook food classes, to name a few. She's hosted several inner healing treatments to assist people with making transformational lifestyle changes. She emphasizes health and wellness with a focus on lifestyle choices such as nutrition and green living. Queenie is known for creating fun and engaging workshops and inner healing retreats that assist people in making transformational lifestyle changes into new beginnings. Queenie is passionate about helping people find a path to optimal emotional, spiritual, physical growth, better health, longevity, and vitality. With that being said, we would like to welcome Ms. Queenie Cook Richardson for our healthy eating demonstration for Soul Food Sunday in honor of Black History Month. I'm going to turn it over to Winnie. Let me make sure that we can see you. All right, Queenie, I think we are ready to go.
Greetings, everyone. I am so honored to be here today. And I have with me my beautiful, lovely assistant, Orisha Mola Richardson. Hello. This is our daughter. And so thank you so much for that introduction, Regina. Yeah, I am multi-passionate, but today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my passions that I've had for the last almost 30 years, actually, which is we've lived a plant-rich diet and lifestyle. I'm also a mother of 6 children, and I've raised them all as vegans. Um, I manage a medical clinic where we encourage all our patients to transition to a plant-rich diet. And so today I'll be demonstrating how to make black bean burgers and also a raw kale salad. So right now, we're in this pandemic, and the pandemic is a virus. Our bodies are totally equipped to be able to stay healthy and fight disease if you feed it the proper food, and feeding your body the proper food and also emotionally feeding the body properly. So if you do that, then you can prevent yourself from catching viruses and also preventing many chronic diseases. And so eating a plant-rich diet just has so many benefits. So it can prevent disease. It can also help to reverse or stabilize a disease. And beans are like so super important in our diet. It can help your body to um, reduce cholesterol because it's very high in fiber. And so this recipe I'll be demonstrating today can be, actually, you can use any bean, but today we're using black bean. So we're going to get started with the demonstration. So make everything simple and pretty quick. I have everything already diced up and measured out. So we're just going to get started. So black bean, we're making black bean burgers. And the first thing we're going to put in the bowl is black beans. And so we've already measured out everything. And so you're going to put the beans in the bowl, and you're going to mash the beans up. Just going to mash it up with a spoon. Now you can also prepare, if you have a food processor, you can kind of speed this process up by putting the beans in the food processor. But if you don't have a food processor, you can just simply get a really big spoon and just mash about 3/4 of the bean. Okay, so that's what we're doing here, mashing the beans. Try to turn over so you can see it. So gonna keep mashing. And so I'll be saying black beans are super nutritious. I mean, they're high in iron as well as fiber. And fiber is so important. A lot of times people are suffering with constipation, and it's because we're not eating enough fiber. And so a lot of people use like additives, like some of the laxatives and things like that in order to help with that. But just simply eating more fiber will help keep your colon clean. Okay, so I mashed about, good half of them are mashed up. And next we're going to be adding the brown rice. So here's the rice, ideally brown rice. So we're going to mix that in. And next we're going to mix that together. Okay, so you're going to mix the rice and the beans together. And this is a really like super easy recipe, and definitely so much healthier for you. A lot of people are wanting to transition to a vegan diet, and they're using a lot of the meat substitutes, which definitely, has its benefits. But a lot of the meat substitutes are very high in sodium, and they're highly processed. Next, we're going to be adding in the spices. So we're using chili powder, and then wish you can pass it. We're using smoked paprika. And we're going to be using cumin, a little black pepper, and a little sea salt. Now, if you're salt sensitive, you can totally eliminate the salt. But one of the things that salt does is that it helps to bring out the flavor of your spices. And we have a little sugar. You can totally, if you are sugar sensitive, which we really all are, you can totally eliminate sugar. And then we're going to mix all of these spices together. So the one thing about spices is that spices in themselves are very medicinal. A lot of the spices that we are using are anti-inflammatory, which means it's going to reduce inflammation in the body, which can also help reduce cancer and other diseases. So spices are really, really important. It adds lots of flavor to the food. And then we're going to add onions. These are white onions. And as you notice, I'm mixing everything very thoroughly together. And next, we will be adding, we're going to be adding, you can use breadcrumbs or walnuts. So the recipe that I sent out calls for, like, I think a cup of walnuts, but you can totally substitute it for breadcrumbs. So that's going to go in next. And so then we're going to mix this. Mixing. I'm turning it so y'all can kind of see it. So we're mixing. So as I was saying, that a lot of the meat substitutes are not very healthy. And so people are using a lot of the meat substitutes thinking that they're actually, that is healthier than eating meat, but they're very high in sodium, very, very processed. And so they can also cause you to have very high cholesterol. Now, it's very, of course, for us, I mean, I've been vegan for like 30 years. And so one of my big motivators is wanting our planet to be as healthy as possible. So when you don't eat meat, you're definitely helping to save our planet. But if you want to be really healthier, you want to just use those meat substitutes as transition. Okay, so next I'm going to be adding in a little oil, very little oil. And as you see, I'm mixing everything. Okay, and then the last ingredient is our barbecue sauce. So you're going to mix that in there. And so I'm going to keep mixing. And the next thing that we're going to do is form this mixture into a patty. So you want to just mix it up really nice. This barbecue sauce helps to bind everything together. And you just want to just purchase your favorite barbecue sauce, because the barbecue sauce also adds a lot of really nice flavor to your burgers. Okay, so now we're ready to form the patties. So excited. These are super easy, very inexpensive, and taste really good. Okay, so after everything is mixed, what I like to do, you have to get your hands dirty here. So put your hands in and you just gotta make sure that everything is really mixed in. Sometimes you just have to touch your food. Okay, and so then we're gonna get this measuring cup. We're gonna be using a third of a cup. And what you're going to do is you're going to fill the cup up with the mixture, and you're going to flip it over, put it in the palm of your hand. You're going to make a ball and form it into a patty. This will yield approximately 6 patties. And so if you want them to be bigger or smaller, you can use a larger cup or a smaller cup. So for our family, I have to double or triple this recipe. So here's the patty here. You can also make this mixture up and it freezes really well. So we're gonna put this on our pan, and I try not to fry, like I don't deep fry food here. I bake everything pretty much. So we're gonna make 6 of these patties, and then we're gonna put it on this pan here, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. So I'm gonna have Arisha, she's gonna finish this part for me. Okay. And so when, want to show the finished product? Yeah, okay. So once all of the patties are on the pan and inside of the oven, you're gonna bake, and then this is what the finished product will look like. So these are our black bean burgers. And so we're gonna turn these into actual burgers. We're gonna put them on a bun and put the different dressings on them. You can also, if you don't wanna use bread, you can actually use lettuce. You can put these in between 2 pieces of lettuce. You can also use these burgers on your salad as well. If you wanted to make a gravy, you can make a gravy and actually put these inside of a nice brown gravy. So these burgers are very versatile, completely vegan, so easy to make. So I want to encourage everyone to, some of you may actually be making the burgers today for the first time. If you aren't making it today, you'll have the recipe. Definitely want to encourage everyone to make their own black bean burgers. So easy, so super nutritious. Okay. So our next, we're going to get set up for our next recipe, which is going to be the kale green.
All right. Thank you so much, Queenie, for that first cooking demonstration, the black bean burgers. Those look amazing. While she's setting up for her next recipe, which is Miss Queenie's marinated alive kale salad, we want to just give parents some just some support in discussing some controversial issues that your students may come home and want to talk to you about. So if you have students of school age, undoubtedly, whether it's through social media or whether it's just by looking at television or talking to their peers, they've been exposed to some very controversial issues over the last year. And so as a school district, we had to decide, okay, well, how are we going to support our teachers in bringing these headlines into the classroom? And we often joke that in social studies, we really do have to ask the tough questions and really get into some tough conversations with our students to make them be able to think critically about the things that they hear on the news and the things that they just see happening around them in their world. So the first thing that we had to do was decide whether we wanted to choose awareness, where we really brought it to the forefront, or avoidance. And in Clayton County Public Schools, we definitely went with awareness. So as a parent, one thing that we want to definitely encourage you to do is to ask questions. When you're sitting at the dinner table, we want you to first just allow some time during the week, whether it's 1 day a week, 2 days a week, or however often, that you all can just sit down at the table together and just discuss some things that your students may have been exposed to. Simply by asking, what's something interesting you've seen lately? And don't outrule anything on social media. Don't think it may be trivial, because they're exposed to a lot of different things via social media that you may want to be aware of. From there, as we were thinking about ways to discuss what was taking place in our world, from police brutality to riots at the Capitol, we wanted to make sure that we did that in a way that allowed us to not be biased with our students. So we had our teachers first recognize their own bias, but then we told them when you're discussing these issues, you want to start with perspective. When your students say, okay, I want to talk about this with you today, parents, we ask that you provide them with multiple viewpoints. We know that we're biased about certain situations, but it's nothing wrong with discussing with your students the other side of a topic. Even if you don't agree with what the other side is saying, it's still important for students to be aware of the point of view that the other side has, why they feel like that, and how they got to feeling like this, what brought them to this point. So we ask that you definitely examine multiple perspectives. Also, one thing that we do in social studies is that when we're discussing these controversial issues, we do them by using primary sources, which are just firsthand accounts of the topic of discussion. And so we do this by, again, bringing in multiple vantage points of the same topic. So when we have them analyze, for example, the riots at the Capitol, we took primary sources from Fox News, MSNBC, BBC, so they could get a worldly look at how the world was looking at America, and also CNN. So don't just focus in on one news source, but try to bring in a variety of news sources. You may not agree with all of the news sources, and that's fine, but it helps our students critically think when they're exposed to more than one point of view. From there, we've taught our students, or we're teaching our students, all about propaganda or quote unquote fake news. With this, we're having them to look at sources and say, okay, why do you think that this person is wanting to bring this topic to light? What do they have to gain? How are they using propaganda and symbolism to make their point? And so for this particular part of the discussion, we definitely make sure that we look at propaganda, what the media has to gain from posting this story and from speaking about this story in such a way. But we definitely make sure that we understand or teach our students to understand what fake news really is and how to recognize it when they see it. And the fourth P is past experiences. So when you're talking about discussing controversial issues with your students at home, you definitely want to see if there's any So, for example, when we were discussing the President Trump impeachment, we were looking at other impeachments that have taken place over history and just looked at what led us to this point and why this impeachment of Donald Trump was so historical. So, definitely looking at past experiences to see how did we get to where we are today. So, again, the four P's of discussing controversial issues. We're going to definitely start by just asking our students when they come home, what's something interesting that you've seen lately, not excluding social media, because chances are a lot of the news that they receive comes from social media. We're going to make sure that they understand different points of perspective. We're going to allow them to look at the news from different vantage points, discuss what could be fake news, which is a lot of what they see on social media. And lastly, discuss any past experiences that may shed some light on how we got to where we are today. All right. So parents, I hope that kind of helped you out with how to discuss controversial issues in the classroom. I'm going to be sharing this particular tool with you that was shared in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that basically steps and guides out the four P's of discussing controversial issues. I'm going to share that with the parent liaisons at your school. So if you ever want to receive this document or want to get into these conversations with your children, you'll have a guide right there to help you do that. And so you can get that from your parent liaison. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to get ready to turn it back over to Queenie. And let me just make sure that I have it on the right view. Okay. 1 second. All right. All right, Queenie, I'm going to turn it back over to you. And I think you are muted. So, yep, I think you're good to go. Thank you.
Okay, so we're back. And so now we're going to be making kale salad. I know a lot of you have probably eaten kale salad before. There may be some people out there who've never made it for themselves. A lot of times people are afraid to try something new because they're afraid of making a mistake. And so I've shared with you a recipe on how to make the perfect kale salad. So that recipe is completely adaptable. You can change it, customize it, just make it yours. You can take things out, add things in. But today, taking my hand and I'm just massaging the kale. So if you put the oil on first, then the other spices will be coated on the oil, on the greens. So put the oil in and we just marinate it. And so as you see how it's breaking down, it was like really full. The more you marinate it, the more it's going to break down that cell wall of the vegetables. And it'll make it so easy to chew. People will think that the vegetables, the kale has been cooked. Okay, so I love greens. They're just so beautiful. Greens are so important. When we look around in nature, what do we see around us? Green. So greens is really our medicine. It's the food that we really should be eating most of in our diet. we encourage our patients to consume at least 10 cups of greens a day. So one of the ways that they do that is by starting the day off with a green smoothie that has about 5 cups of greens in it, and then a salad. And the salad can be kale. And so next we're gonna add in a little garlic. And garlic, of course, you know, is just phenomenal. Antibacterial, antifungal. I mean, it kills things totally. I mean, we cook with garlic all the time, we put it in everything. So I'm gonna add the garlic. And then I'm gonna mix that garlic up. Mix it up. And then next we're going to add purple onions. Well, purple onions are extremely high in vitamin C. So I'm gonna mix that up. So I just like to mix, and I just absolutely love touching these greens. They're like so magical. And the last thing we are adding is sweet potatoes, which I absolutely love sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are a super food. They are so rich in vitamin C. I did not know how rich they were in vitamin C. Like 1 cup of sweet potatoes literally it takes care of your totally daily requirement for the day. So get back in that white Lori. So this is our kale salad. And of course we prepped everything in advance, so it went super fast, but kale salad is really, really easy to make. So I'm gonna pour it. Pour it in here. Okay. I'm gonna wash my hands. So yeah, so here is our kale salad. Was really, really quick. So for our meal today, we are having black bean burgers and kale salad, which is like not your typical Sunday Southern meal, but we love burgers like anytime. And so here's our kale salad. And so a lot of people will, you know, as they are considering maybe transitioning to a plant-based diet, one of the questions they ask is like, where do I get my protein from? You know, and we have really been, it's encouraged to eat a lot of protein from animals, but we have to ask ourselves, where do the animals get their protein from? They get their protein from eating these green vegetables. So the animals that people eat, like cows, if they're in their natural habitat, they're eating grass, green. And so greens, they have all the nutrients that you need to be completely healthy and to stay well. And so you don't have to get your protein from animals in order to be healthy. You can totally get all your protein by eating a plant-rich diet. So the meal that we're going to have today, that I'm hoping some of you are going to be preparing for your family, is a complete meal. This food has all the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants that you need in order to stay healthy. So you don't have to eat animals in order to get your protein. So, ready? Okay, so this is our burger. So this is a black bean burger. And we're gonna add the greens to the plate. And so this is our Sunday dinner. Black bean burgers and kale salad. So, okay. So I'm hoping that this is a recipe that everyone feels comfortable with, and being able to make the black bean burgers and the kale salad. I'm totally available to be able to answer any questions that you may have. You can find me at Queenie'sKitchen.com. That's QUINNIES kitchen.com and ACPM.net. Um, I offer classes on how to prepare everything that we prepared today, in addition to a whole bunch of other recipes. Also teach soap making, meditation, yoga. So you can go to my website, you can subscribe, and then I'll email you when I have my next class. So I just want to encourage everyone to really, really change what you eat, because what we are eating as people of color, that is what's killing us. That is what's killing us. I want to encourage all the parents out there to really give your children lots of fruits and vegetables. We've raised 6 children. They were hardly ever sick, and that's because of what they eat. As parents, we have to take control of our children's diet, the start that a child has in life, which consists of the foods that they eat, of course, love and support from their parents and their village will set the stage for their success going into adulthood. So we want to give our children a really, really good foundation, and food is so important. Children don't have to suffer and have asthma and diabetes and fight and struggle with obesity if you feed your children a plant-rich diet. Eliminate as much as you can the sugars, the sodas, the processed food, and take this time that we're all like forced to be still to create a new normal for your family, where you all are in the kitchen together and you're making food from scratch. And that will actually a set a precedent, a foundation for them for the rest of their lives if they learn how to prepare their own food. There's no reason why we should be suffering from the pandemic and our people are dying from this COVID and from other diseases that are completely preventable just by making changes in your diet. I have seen people come into our clinic who are like in their 80s and they make a change. So imagine if you start right now, parents, encouraging your children, for the whole family, to eat fruits and vegetables. I grew up poor in the projects, but one of the things that we did a lot was that we ate fruits and vegetables and we went outside and we played in the sun. So just because we're in a pandemic, your children can still go outside and play. They need the fresh air, they need the vitamin D from the sun. All of those things are going to help prevent your children from getting sick, and it's going to give them just such a wonderful start in life. So I just want to encourage everyone. I want to encourage mothers, parents, take control of your household by changing the way you eat. Start your day off by drinking water, eating fruits and vegetables, and eliminating the processed food, eliminating the soda. Everybody get outside and walk. So that's I'm happy, and I'm very grateful to Clayton County for having me as your guest today. And I hope and pray that I have inspired you all to make some healthy choices and encourage you all to try these recipes. And I'm here to support you on your journey.
Thank you so much, Queenie, for that inspirational food for our soul and just for our bellies as well. The black bean burger and kale salad looks amazing. And could you just give your contact information one more time for anyone who may just need to grab a pen and pencil to jot it down? How can they reach you again?
Yeah, so they can reach me at quinnieskitchen.com. That's QUINNIES kitchen.com, and at acpm.net. You can also find me on Instagram at Queenie's Kitchen and also on Facebook.
Thank you so much for that. And I'll also, everyone who's on, I'll also share her contact information with the parent liaison so that if you want to follow up and get more cooking tips on how to have a healthier family, you can reach directly out to Miss Cook Richardson and she'll be able to work with you on that. We want to thank everyone for coming out. This has been in honor, like we said, of Black History Month, where this year the focus is all on the Black family. And so the Department of Social Studies has been providing events throughout the month of February that focuses on having a healthier Black family and just to have a healthier family, period. And so we hope that you found this very beneficial, not only for healthy eating, but for healthy conversations as well. Where we discuss how to talk about issues of social justice or just controversial issues, period, at home with your students, no matter how old they are. So with that being said, we would like to thank the Department of Communications, the Department of Technology, along with Dr. Beasley, Dr. Simpson, and Dr. Lee for supporting this event. And we thank you for attending Sunday Dinner for the Soul, presented by the Department of Social Studies. Until next time, Clayton County, and thank you for attending.